I'm very honored to be here with the creator and showrunner of Sweet Magnolias, Miss Sheryl Anderson.
Hey.
So let me tell you a little bit about Sheryl. Sheryl is originally from Virginia, so we love that. We love a Southern woman. And Sheryl is hosting today a Southern-themed strike picket here at Amazon Studios. And I'm sure by now some of y'all have probably heard that the WGA, which is the Writers Guild, and SAG AFTRA, which is the Actors Union, are both on strike, right? I'm an actor and a writer, so I happen to be a member of both unions. And I know for a fact that y'all are probably thinking, now why on earth would I give a happy hahoo that the crazy Hollywood people are on strike, right? Well, first of all, let me tell you, there's a lot of Southerners that work in the entertainment industry. Your fellow Southerners are struggling. Sheryl, what would you say to folks who think that all Hollywood writers are rich and elite and should probably just stop whining?
Most in both unions are working class, a fortunate few are middle class, and only a tiny, tiny percentage are rich. Yes, we are paid to do what we love, but there's a lot of downtime, there's a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of us are working for less than we made 20 years ago, while the cost of living, and certainly the cost of housing, the cost of trying to take care of our families continues to escalate at a frightening level. And it's not just our industry, it's every industry in the country where a small percentage of management is taking a vast amount of profit, and honest working people are struggling and scraping to get by and feeling the weight of entire industries on shoulders that should not be bearing it alone.
Well said, well said. Now we know why she's in charge of a TV show, right? So Sheryl, I think a lot of people don't even understand what this contract is. How did the strike come about? What is the AMPTP, right?
The AMPTP is a group of the major studios in our industry, and they are a bargaining collective. Our union talks to them about the minimum basic agreement. Just like in every other industry, when your contract's up and you go to talk to your boss and say, hey, listen, my wages aren't keeping up with the cost of living, can we talk about a raise? That's basically what we're doing, but we're doing it on a union level because the power of collective bargaining benefits everybody. But unfortunately, when the other side is not interested in negotiating or is not interested in reasonable discussion, that's when strikes happen. And the Writers Guild went out first. Now we're joined by our siblings in SAG, and we take courage in the numbers because we know we are needed. We know our particular skills, just like the skills that you bring to your workplace every day, are needed, and they should be valued. We're having a Sweet Magnolias themed picket today because Sweet Magnolias is a show about community and a show about understanding your worth to yourself, to your family, to your neighbors, to your community. And so it resonates very deeply with us.
Yes, and I was just thinking as you were talking, Sheryl, I think a very interesting analogy for you Southerners, right, is football. Think about all the revenue that the NFL generates, right? That's like $1 billion business, right? That revenue is not possible without the product of the game. And the product of the game is 100% created by the talent of the players. And yes, these companies, pay our salaries, but they don't make up any of the product. They're not the talent, right? The writers, the actors, they are the talent. I also don't think that people realize that when the actors and writers go on strike, there are other creatives in our industry that are not working. So it's the set designers and the hair people and the makeup people and the prop people and the set builders. Everybody is a creative. And when we go on strike, all those people lose their jobs. For example, Sheryl's show is filmed in Atlanta. You know, so there's a ton of production going on in Atlanta. Everything's shut down. So it's not just the performers, it's not just the creatives, it's also the other businesses around it as well.
Well, and I would like to say that we all take it very seriously that our creative siblings in IATSE and the related unions, and the fact that the Teamsters are standing in solidarity with us means the world. But we're not just doing this for our unions, we're doing it for those unions too, because they have contracts coming up in the next year or two, and we want a firm foundation for them to be able to build on, so that the hope is we don't have to repeat this strike cycle again anytime soon.
Sheryl, last question, can you just sort of briefly explain how this strike is really driven, with both unions, by the way, really largely driven by two big changes in our industry. One is the booming of streaming, and number two, this looming AI, right? AI is looming. It's coming after our industry, and it's coming after your industry next. And it is scary, y'all. It is scary, and there are a lot of challenges there. Can you speak to those two things?
Well, I can certainly speak from my personal point of view. Our show is on a streaming platform, and it's just a different economic design. And the main concern there is residuals, which are the additional payments that we get, which when you're on network TV are baked into the formula, and they're not in streaming. And so the kind of return that you get when your show is re-aired on a network show does not happen in streaming. There's an issue with transparency of viewership statistics, which is what this is all based on. But residuals are important because a lot of us will work for 20 weeks and then not work for 2 years. And those residuals used to be what kept you going in between, and they're not there anymore.
Right, and just let me clarify that when she says you may not work for 2 years, that's not because we like laying out at the beach in Malibu eating bonbons. We're not working for 2 years because we are trying to get another job. It is so competitive. There's so many talented people in this industry. So there's these long stretches in between one job to the next. So the residual payments are what keep you going. They're what keep you off unemployment. They're what keep you paying your bills and feeding your children. So that's the residual structure is important.
And residuals are a return on the investment in the show that you have made as a creative, whatever your union is. It's not like, oh, we're doing you a favor by giving you a little extra money. It's a return on our investment, so it should be coming to us.
Don't you think that the person that wrote it or the person that starred in it should get a little bit of that profit? Should all that profit just go to the shareholders and the CEOs? I don't think so. You see, that's what creams our corn. That is why we are irritated. That is what's going on. All right, let's talk about AI for 1 second and then we'll be done.
AI is coming for us all. When is the last time you called customer service and could actually speak to a human being? Automation is growing into artificial intelligence, is growing into the Terminator movies, and I'm being hyperbolic, but only slightly. There is great excitement in creative industries about replacing flesh and blood human beings with genuine emotions with artificial intelligence that just mimics our emotions. And not only does it devalue us as creatives, but it devalues the process. What you come to us for, stories that move you, delight you, entertain you, challenge you, that comes from real people. And AI may save money, but it will kill the industry.
So there you have it. Now you got it. You have heard it straight from the Southern source's mouth, right here, right here. Thank you so much for being with me today, Sheryl. I really appreciate your time. And thank y'all so much. If y'all are interested in learning more about how you can help people in this industry that really are struggling financially, and trust me, they really are. I'm going to include some links below of organizations that are doing a lot to impact people in on all levels of this industry. And I hope you'll consider making a donation.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day. Toodles!